All right, moving on to fill in the blank. I'm going to go a little out of order here, Pish.
Yep.
And this segment is tried and true. You get it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to provide a statement, but there's going to be a word or a phrase missing, and we need to fill in the blank.
Yeah, it's like Mad Libs, but it's not as fun.
No. So, we were just talking about injuries. And unfortunately, we in the Orlando Magic have witnessed yet another injury, something that has become almost like drinking water for us, sadly, to Gary Harris, who is going to be out for we don't know how long, because, of course, our team doesn't tell us anything and probably won't ever tell us anything, with a meniscus tear in the left knee. So, here's the fill in the blank, Pish. The player most likely to benefit from extra time with Gary Harris out is blank.
I mean, if it's not Raymond James Hampton, I don't know if that's what it stands for.
Is that what I was about to say, really?
But if it's not RJ Hampton, I don't know who it is. It screams for him to be that guy. And last year when we saw him off ball, when he could spot up, he was one of our better three-point shooters. That's what Gary does, and also being defensive. So RJ's going to need to step up his D if he wants to get more of those minutes. Otherwise, they could go to someone else. And it really just may go to the guys that are already existing kind of in our starting lineup who are going to play more. Because you had some lineups, I think, where you had Gary Harris starting, or at least being first off the bench, perhaps.
Yeah, no, I wanted him starting.
And now that's going to lean more time for Suggs, Cole, to figure out what they're going to do, and maybe more time for Fultz as well in the guard positions, just rolling around. But I feel like it opens up a hole for RJ Hampton to try to bust through. And this is a big year for him, because I think it's he's one of the players on our team that it's like, he obviously fits in well and gets in well with who our team is, but that's a roster spot that we could fill with, a potential all-star or an all-star if we want to get to the finals level within 3 or 4 years, which is something I think we aspire to do. So it's no knock on RJ, but this is the time to put up or shut up, I think, for him. Do you think anybody other than him? Or?
Well, I honestly, truthfully, I was going to say RJ as well.
Yep.
It's definitely a make or break year, but I'll go a little different way. I'll say the player most likely to benefit from the extra time with Gary Harris out is my boy Devin Kennedy. I'm going to keep banging that drum, ladies and gentlemen. We lose Gary Harris, one of our best shooters, especially from that corner. Man, it was going in. Devin Kennedy is a guy that is fringe on this team.
For sure.
His contract isn't guaranteed. We don't know if he's even going to be on the squad. With Gary Harris going down,
right,
he could now be on the squad and see some of those rotational minutes, where before he wasn't probably going to see much court. Now he has an opportunity to get in there and show what he can do, which I think is a lot. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this guy was the G League Finals MVP.
Right.
He was one of the best shooters in the G League, period.
Yep.
Sustained for multiple years. He's shooting plus 40% from beyond the arc.
Sure.
The line doesn't move last time I checked in the G League and the NBA. It's the same distance, Pish.
Same.
So if he can do it there's a chance that he can do it in the NBA. We saw some of it last year when he came up. The guy has a sweet stroke and even sweeter dance moves. I really think, Gary Harris's unfortunate injury could be that little crack in the door to let Devin come in, show what he can do, and maybe earn some rotational minutes when eventually this guard rotation is going to have to be consolidated. Like you said, it's make or break for RJ. If he doesn't show something, he could be on the way out. We've been talking about Terrence Ross being traded for the past 2 years.
Right.
So something's going to happen in this guard rotation.
Right.
And maybe Devin Kennedy, because he's affordable, will be able to stay on the end of the bench and see some time in the NBA.
That's a good point. My dark horse here would have been Caleb Houston.
Okay.
Because I feel like what we're losing a lot with Gary is one of our better defensive players. And I think Caleb is pretty good on D, so he could get minutes based on being a defensive stopper. But we'll see. I mean, I haven't seen enough of him to know if he's going to jump into the role or not. So the safe bet would be RJ, but if I had to put some money on a long shot, as I know you sometimes like to do if you're hedging a bet, then I'd go with Caleb Houston.
Okay. All right. I see that.